not to have the ability to actually make our own steel from scratch. We're having to rely on others increasingly, including those with whom our relationship could possibly sour. And at a time when we're looking to grow,
there. The boss of Fujitsu's European operations has admitted that the company knew for many, many years of bugs and errors in the Horizon computer system. Paul Patterson told the public inquiry into the post office scandal that he'd seen evidence that statements made by Fujitsu employees used to prosecute sub-postmasters were edited. Our business correspondent Emma Simpson reports.
Evidence I shall give.
The Fujitsu boss answering more questions, but this time under oath.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
Paul Patterson admitted there were problems with the Horizon computer system spanning 2 decades.
Right from the very start of deployment of this system, there were bugs and errors and defects which were well known to all parties.
These issues remained hidden from the courts and the post office action against sub-postmasters.
I am surprised that detail was not included in the witness statements given by Fujitsu staff to the post office. And I have seen some evidence of editing of witness statements by others.
No doubt you would regard that as shameful.
Yes, that would be one word I would use.
What's the other one?
Shameful, appalling. My understanding of how our laws work in this country, that all of the evidence should have been put in front of the sub-postmaster.
The inquiry heard last month, post office lawyers and investigators had rewritten witness statements. Today, they also looked at some of the bugs. One big one calendar square created duplicate transactions, and it took Fujitsu more than 5 years to fix. Fujitsu was also under contract to provide transaction data to the post office in its legal pursuit of sub-postmasters. The material was supposed to allow branch managers to see if Horizon was working properly. But even when this crucial data was provided, the inquiry heard it wasn't always accurate or complete.
We have clearly let society down and the sub-postmasters down. I think we had our obligations to the post office to be at the front of everything we were doing, and that was wrong.
Lee Castleton was bankrupted by the post office. A Fujitsu expert witness told the judge in his case there was nothing wrong with Horizon at his branch. So what did he think today?
I'm sure, he means it. I'm not saying that he doesn't, but it's about doing things. It's about actions.
Some of the victims want to meet the Fujitsu boss to discuss assistance and support. He said he'd be happy to, apologising again for his company's part in their suffering. Emma Simpson, BBC News.
Well, more details are emerging about who knew there were issues with the post office computer system and when. Our economics correspondent Andy Verity is here with more. Andy.
Thank you very much, Rita. Well, it was way back in 1999. The Post Office begins the rollout of Horizon. Now, within weeks, some sub-postmasters are reporting that it's generating errors, and that goes to the top. We've seen the minutes of a Post Office board meeting in September 1999, where directors heard of serious doubts over the reliability of the software. And by April 2000, even the Prime Minister knows there's something seriously wrong.
When we came to office, there was probably no greater shambles than that Horizon project.
But the Post Office chose to blame the sub-postmasters, not the software, for cash shortfalls we now know were false. And over 15 years, 983 sub-postmasters and postmistresses are convicted of offences from theft to fraud to false accounting using evidence from Horizon. Fujitsu witnesses claim Horizon's information was reliable and robust. Some victims go to prison, others were ruined, some take their own lives. Now, we've got hold of an audit report in 2011 from the consultant EY warning that some IT staff have unrestricted access to Postmasters Horizon accounts, which may lead to the processing of unauthorised or erroneous transactions, something the Post Office continues to deny for years. In 2013, the board discusses a review by the consultant Second Sight, which finds 2 bugs in Horizon. And in July 2013, a concerned barrister for the Post Office, Simon Clark, writes formal advice saying there are a number of now convicted defendants to whom the existence of bugs should have been disclosed, but was not. And we've also got hold of minutes showing the board were concerned that the review opened the business up to claims of wrongful prosecution. But the Post Office didn't halt prosecutions until 2 years later. And it wasn't until 7 years later, after the Post Office had spent millions of pounds of public money trying to crush the postmaster's claims, that the advice given to the board came out. Now, a spokesman for the Post Office told us it shared the aims of the public inquiry to get to the truth and to reach its independent conclusions. Rita.
Thank you very much, Andy. The Hollywood actor Alec Baldwin